Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music, and I'm back with more lo-fi hip hop chords, this time inspired by Bruno Mars' hit, Leave the Door Open. Some great chords, great chord progressions, great voicings in that song. And I think I found an easy way to think about those sonorities. Well, let's take a look. Okay, so this song uses a chord progression which anyone from my generation will feel really familiar with. Let's listen. But I think for us, what's maybe more important is that the voicings themselves suggest a simple triad over a new bass note. So look at it, and it's easy to see these three notes as an E minor triad with a C in the bass. Simple E minor triad. Whoops. And then these three, it's a D major triad with C in the bass. Again, D major triad, C in the bass, it's D7. Well, the same triad gets played here with a B bass, and we have B minor 7. We're getting interesting chords and great voicings out of using a simple trick. Triads on top, a different note, a root usually, in the bottom. This chord is a inverted F major triad. C, there's the F. There's the A. But the bass note is G, and the resulting sound, very sexy. I love it. Well, it made me think. It made me think, what other chord progressions can I use this approach? What other chord progressions maybe could I build that use triads on top, alternate bass notes on the bottom? Excuse me. Let's take a look. So the chord progression is C, A, D, G. It couldn't be much more conventional. The second time around, instead of a G, I go to a D flat. Some people call that a tritone substitution, and the reason it works is the 3rd and 7th of G7 are the same two notes as the 3rd and 7th of D flat. I didn't make it D flat dominant, though. I made it D flat major, we'll take a look at it when we get there. Here's the E minor triad to make C major 7. Here are the same three notes to get A minor 9. No third there, I know, but we hear it. Here's an F triad over D, that's D minor 7. And here's that same F triad over G, and that should be familiar from the Bruno Mars. So the same thing happens here, till I get to the F minor triad over D flat. Very sweet. Love that D flat major 7 as a substitute for G7. So here's my third series, essentially a 3-6-2-5. And I think we'll go double time on this one. Okay, so this 3-6-2-5 cycle has E, A, D, G again and again. You can see the bass, it's just repetition. But I've switched the triads around. The first set of triads are like a G triad, a C major triad over A, it gives us A minor 7. An F triad over D, we've looked at that before, D minor 7, and then a kind of a G7 chord. But let's not stop there. Here's a D major triad. There's an F sharp in there over the E. It's a great sound. We get a really strong 9th. And then over the A, a G triad, another 9th. A C major triad over D gives us a D minor 11. All of it rather biting. And then I don't even know what to call this. I just like the sound. which is sometimes the best solution. And well, you can analyze this further, but check out the sound. It's a pretty strong sound. And it resolves to C major 7. Gives me a couple of measures to make the whole cycle happen again. It sounds a little bit like that sort of rock jazz of the 70s, doesn't it? Well, they were using these approaches. 7th chords, 9th chords, even 11ths. But the idea of using a root and a simple triad over the top is a powerful one, and one that's easy to conceive of. You can pick triads that you like the sound of as long as you follow root progressions, which are, fairly commonplace. 3, 6, 2, 5, 2, 5, 1. Things like that. Well, I think that might be enough for now. 7th chords, 9th chords, even 13th chords can be constructed by placing simple triads over the roots. And you're always going to wind up with 4 different notes. The triads themselves are easy to voice because triads are easy to voice. The roots can move anywhere you want them to. Use pathways that are familiar and functional, like 3, 6, 2, 5, or 2, 5, 1. Tritone substitutions add a lot of juice. I hope this was useful. As always, don't hesitate to comment, ask questions, click that bell to be notified, and subscribe. It's a pleasure to be making these for you, and I'll see you next time.